We took all of the current campaign source books. We ranked them from 1 to 100. We took an average, and we have a score on how excited we are to start a campaign in each one. So let's do it.
Yeah, which one of them is jazzing us up the most? And we are including the soon-to-be-released Spelljammer in our ranking. Let us know in the comments which ones you think are going to be at the top of our lists. We're curious to see if you can guess which is the #1 official campaign setting for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. All right, coming in at number 8. Bit of a shocker here. We have, dun dun dun, The Explorer's Guide to Wildemount. I have given this, out of 100, a ranking of 34. Kamo has given it a whopping 40.
I'm excited at a 40 level.
Don't turn off the video. Don't turn off the video.
Don't hate us.
We love Critical Role. We love Matt Mercer. We love everybody involved with that production. We love his setting. We're just not that interested in playing in it. Why?
His setting is his rendition of Faerun. I feel like I would just do the same type of thing with Faerun and make it my own.
Correct.
Instead of like...
Don't get us wrong. It's not. That's not what he did. He put a ton of work
Yes.
and he made it his own thing. We are not saying he just like lazily wrote this up. He put a ton of effort into it.
The history is completely different. The way that races are completely different. But it is just a play on that theme.
Yes.
Right.
It's not wild enough. It's not different enough to really spark our imaginations and make us want to run a campaign in it. I'll gladly watch them play around in that world.
Hell yeah.
But I have no desire to really run it. I'm also not that interested. There's a lot of war and tension in this setting. Personally, that's not for me.
I love it.
Yeah, you dig it more. You dig it like 6 points more than me. I just don't care. I don't do a lot of war and politics in my games. I just don't.
Number 7 on our list of excitement to start our campaigns in Forgotten Realms, Faerun.
What do we got for scores?
We got...
I'm a 13.
I'm a 65, 67?
65.
65.
I hate the Forgotten Realms. I'm done with Faerun.
I think what's great about the setting is just that because it is basic, it is a perfect
Jumping off point.
point, new player point.
Yeah.
It's perfect. They don't have to do a lot of extra thinking about this world. It's easy for them. Even a non-nerd can tell you, someone who hasn't watched Lord of the Rings or anything fantasy could tell you these tropes and fit into the
Sure, and I agree with that. And I will more than likely play more games in Faerun because it's easy to do.
Yeah.
It's in the box. It's in all the adventures.
Good for your new players. Probably not great for your experienced players.
Coming in at number 6 is the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica. I gave this a 68, and Kamo comes in with a 60. Right. It's the first of the Magic the Gathering settings. For those of you who don't know, Ravnica is this like world-encompassing city, right? And there's 10 guilds.
Coruscant for Dungeons and Dragons.
Bingo! That's basically what it is.
Reading about the guilds, they're cool. They're all different, and
yes,
it's all about making your own guild or maybe fitting in with the other guilds, joining their cause. I like that kind of play. This is a high magic setting.
Yes, right.
So it's that technology and magic, right?
Goblins with flamethrowers. That's in the book.
I love it.
Ravnica.
Yeah.
I don't know. What you got? Any more thoughts on it?
I think it's interesting to come up with how different each piece of the city is,
right?
Because you're going to have to explain that to your players. I find that will be difficult. That would be the challenge for me is making sure that I'm coming across that every part of this city is different. Yeah, but I'm a little interested to run a game in that. It reminds me of Final Fantasy.
Oh, like modern Final Fantasy.
Like modern Final Fantasy.
Yeah, that weird steampunky like mixture of...
Yeah.
I see that.
Right?
A lot of zippers.
Zippers, yeah, and leather.
Leather, zippers, spiky hair, and goblins with flamethrowers.
And massive weapons. Massive melee weapons.
Yeah. Big old buster sword.
Next up, number 5 is Eberron. My buddy Wolf here gave it an 80.
Yeah,
and
I love Eberron.
What did I give it?
50.
I'm going to up my score a little bit because, after kind of like settling these scores and before we filmed, I watched Bright. So this is trying to be more of the steampunk world, right?
Yeah, I think they call it like magic punk.
Magic punk.
Something like that, right?
We're in high fantasy again here.
It's like film noir. It's like mafia. Eberron is a little bit of everything, right? You got like a territory that's controlled by vampires. You've got like a blown out apocalyptic place that's like your Dark Souls land.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about Eberron is the book explicitly tells you to take all of your expectations and throw them in the trash.
Yep.
Because you could be running into a bunch of friendly skeletons or a gold dragon that is trying to take over a city to, kill everyone and turn them into like poopy.
Watching Bright, it's such a unique film. The gangs and the thugs and the detective work and all involving, this magical artifact that they're looking for in the middle of the city. It was just such a, it's a pair of cops and detective work, and
that's very Eberron.
Yeah,
It's like it's very like you're a detective and you're looking for a MacGuffin, a magical MacGuffin in a big city, maybe Sharn.
Yeah, but your summoning circle that you're trying to find is in the middle of a warehouse like that. That's cool, you know?
And that's what you can expect.
Yeah.
Everything is layers and layers of gray. Everything's morally disambiguous.
Yeah.
There's no heroes. You're playing sort of like maybe like a Cowboy Bebop sort of thing where you're not necessarily, you're just trying to make it, man.
Yeah.
Coming in number 4 is the magical Curriculum of Chaos, Strix Haven, the second of the Magic the Gathering settings. I gave this a 88, and you gave it a 70, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm clearly super jazzed about it. Everyone's knocking on Strix Haven because they think it's like, oh, they're trying to market D&D towards kids, and I don't want to play in this setting. These drawings look all cutesy.
Yeah, you got to stop that.
Who cares?
Yeah.
I want kids to play D&D. I want that.
Yeah.
I want everyone playing D&D. If you want to make your Strix Haven very much like Harry Potter and Hogwarts, you can. Mine's not going to look anything like that.
Yeah.
Mine's going to be like Animal House, a lot of drinking, a lot of drugs, a lot of, cheating on courses, all sorts of weird nonsense like that.
That's what's so perfect about how the setting is written, too, because it is very vague in
Sure.
how the book is written.
Yep.
So a lot of dungeon masters have a hard time with how it's written. How they're like, oh, you didn't spell everything out for me.
Most of that book's an adventure. But you need to read that adventure because a lot of the rules and a lot of the like really cool stuff that you can do at Strix Haven
comes from that.
That adventure. You get to play sports.
I love those rules for sports and
skill challenges, right? You can do so much interesting stuff. I think a lot of the time what bothers me about D&D is that it all boils down to its roots. It's a war game. It's a game about killing monsters. You never have those moments where you slow down and you're like, oh, my guy has to go, I can't go on a quest right now. I got to work at the cafe.
Yeah.
I have to study for this exam. My favorite stuff in Dungeons & Dragons is the role-playing of the downtime. I want to know what your character is going to do in their spare time when there's no adventure happening. Because that's what really makes them come alive to me.
Yeah.
And I think Strix Haven really comes at us with like one of the most unique ways to play Dungeons & Dragons.
Wanted to incorporate, your son, your daughter, and introduce them to D&D. Having a middle school level Harry Potter world, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm going to stick a tip right in the middle of this video. All of these settings, make them your own.
Yes. This one you can really adapt to your own.
Come up with your own histories. Come up with your own backstories.
Locations.
If you don't like something in one of those books, don't use it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best part about being a dungeon master is you have complete and utter control over everything that happens in your games.
Freedom, baby. Next up at number 3, we have ranked the Mystic Odysseys of Theros. I gave it an 85 and you gave it a 75. Damn if I'm not a sucker for mythology. Jason and the Argonauts. 300.
God of War.
I love all that stuff.
It's high fantasy, but it's all about the gods.
It is. The gods are in this world. You can go up to the top of their mountains and speak with them. You can go to the depths of the world and bargain with them. They're an ever-evolving piece of the world. I love that.
This is the God book. If you want to know how to run gods in D&D, you need to own this campaign source book. Even if you don't run a campaign in it, you will get a really great idea of how to incorporate gods and deities in your game. This is the heroic campaign. Yeah, you kind of are the chosen one, right?
Yeah.
Everyone around you is mediocre and poopy. Mm-hmm. They're poopy.
All the peons.
All the plebeians.
Yes.
And the peons. And their agoras.
Plebs and hobos.
They're trash people compared to the heroes that you are.
Yes.
I really dig it. I think it's a cool book. Is it the highest? It's the highest rated of our Magic the Gathering settings.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
I would love it if you ran a one-shot in this or came up with something. I think
I'd be excited for that.
Before we get to the next number in our lists, there's still more settings that Wizards hasn't brought to us yet.
Yeah.
There's so many more. What are you excited for? Tell us in the comments which ones you want to see. What do you want to see?
I need Dark Sun. You better get me Dark Sun.
Coming in at number 2, we have Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft.
Spooky.
I gave this an 83. You gave this a 90. I believe it's your highest score that you gave.
Yeah, I love, a horror-themed setting for Dungeons & Dragons. I love creating that tension, coming back and forth with something funny, something scary.
Yep.
Right? Prison Realm.
It's the prison realm, right? Why you have to figure out why you're stuck in this just hellhole, this hellscape.
I've never ran Ravenloft, but I would love to run that and then just keep playing in the setting.
Yep.
Keep going.
I'm a big horror guy. That's the only official campaign that I've played through all of it. My only complaint about the entire setting is that Ravenloft is a terrible place to be. It's not fun.
Yeah, it could get depressing real fast, right? It just gets so.
Yeah, like the setting bleeds out from the table and into the room itself.
Yeah.
And you're like, we need to die. Like, we can't be here anymore. We got to find a way out. Where's Strahd, man? We got to kill this dude. We got to go home. Mm-hmm. It's an exhausting campaign setting. Yeah. Werewolves, vampires, Frankenstein's monsters, gargoyles, ghouls. You can have all that stuff in Ravenloft and more. It's a cool setting. At one point, Vecna was a prisoner there.
Yes.
Vecna's always popular. Everyone loves Vecna, man.
This is it. You're at the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Our favorite, most excited setting to play in is coming up soon. It's Spelljammer. We're souped for this, man. We want to tie the realms together. We want to float in pirate ships that are encased in air bubbles. Play as the Thri-Kreen.
Yes. This is my great white whale, folks. This is the Moby Dick of settings. I have been waiting for the announcement of Spelljammer since 5th edition was like, we're really going to honor and go through like all of our big settings. What makes Spelljammer so awesome is that it is the weirdest and it's the wackiest, and it just takes inspiration from everything. It is not just Dungeons and Dragons in space. It's like D&D, like nautical pirates in space. You don't have a spaceship, you have a galleon. You have a literal pirate ship that is floating through the astral sea. You're flying through and you're seeing cities built on asteroids. Yeah. And there's like beholders that look like they pretend to be asteroids.
Their eyes open and it's not a stone.
Yes, yes, it's amazing. It's so stupid and weird, and they're leaning into it, and I love that they're leaning into it. You can play as a little plasmoid creature, like a little ooze man. You have like iron gnomes. You have little robot people. You have, wait for it. They're called vampirates.
Vampirates? Vampirates?
You have space vampires that are vampirates. It's literally like trashy sci-fi and trashy horror movies and pirates and wizards.
Like Sharktopus might be flying through space.
Oh my god, I want it so bad. I want Spelljammer. August 16th can't get here fast enough.
This is the perfect setting for those seasoned players too, because this is a world of all new stuff. I love that Z-axis.
Yeah.
Add the Z-axis to your encounters in really Spelljammer. The up and down, right? Flying above things and going through canyons, right? That's why I love running an underwater campaign so much too.
It is, and that's the thing. It's like a pirate campaign, but the sea is the astral sea.
The astral sea.
That's it. That's all the campaign settings for Dungeons and Dragons, ranked from highest to lowest. 1 to 8. We love Spelljammer. We hate Wildmount, apparently. That's okay.
That's all right.
It's our opinions.